Somewhere between mountains, deserts, and fertile river valleys, a new kind of power began to rise. Not a city, not a single kingdom, but an empire so vast, so organized, and so connected, that for the first time in history people began to imagine what it meant to rule the world itself. This was the Persian Empire. And unlike many ancient civilizations that grew slowly from a single city, Persia expanded like something alive. Fast, strategic, intelligent, stretching across continents, connecting Egypt, Mesopotamia, Anatolia, and even reaching the edges of India. But what makes the Persian Empire truly extraordinary is not just its size, it is how it held itself together. Because ruling a vast empire is not just about conquest, it is about control, communication, trust, and systems strong enough to survive distance and diversity. And it all begins with one man, Cyrus the Great. Cyrus was not just a conqueror, he was something rare in ancient history. A ruler who understood that fear alone could not hold an empire together. Around 550 BCE, he began uniting different regions under his leadership, overthrowing the Median Empire and expanding rapidly into Lydia and Babylon. But what made Cyrus different was what he did after victory. When he conquered Babylon, instead of destroying it, he allowed people to keep their religions, customs, and traditions. He freed captured populations and respected local cultures. This was revolutionary, because in a world where conquest often meant destruction, Cyrus introduced a different idea. An empire could rule through tolerance. And that idea became one of the foundations of Persian power. But an empire cannot survive on philosophy alone. It needs structure. And the Persians built one of the most advanced administrative systems the ancient world had ever seen. The empire was divided into regions called satrapies. Each satrapy was governed by a satrap, a local official who reported directly to the king. This system allowed Persia to manage enormous territory without losing control. Think about it. Instead of one center trying to control everything, power was distributed, but still connected. It was like a network, not a cage, and that made Persia incredibly efficient. But communication was still a challenge. How do you control an empire that stretches across thousands of kilometers? The answer was one of the greatest infrastructure achievements of the ancient world, the Royal Road. This massive highway system stretched from Sardis to Susa, allowing messengers to travel incredible distances in record time. Relay stations were placed along the route so riders could change horses and continue without delay. Herodotus, the ancient historian, famously described it with admiration, noting that nothing, not snow, rain, or darkness, stopped the Persian couriers. This is where a famous idea was born: efficient communication is power. And Persia mastered it. But the empire was not only administrative, it was also cultural. One of the most important religions in the Persian world was Zoroastrianism, which taught a cosmic struggle between truth and falsehood, order and chaos. It emphasized moral choice. Humans were not just subjects of kings, they were participants in a larger spiritual battle. This belief influenced how Persians viewed justice, leadership, and responsibility. After Cyrus came another powerful ruler, Darius I. Darius was not a founder like Cyrus, but he was an organizer, a builder of systems. Under his rule, the empire reached new levels of structure and stability. He standardized taxes, reorganized provinces, and strengthened the satrapy system. But perhaps his greatest achievement was turning Persia into an administrative machine that could function across continents. He also built Persepolis, a ceremonial capital that symbolized the unity and diversity of the empire. Carved stone reliefs show delegations from different regions bringing tribute, not as slaves, but as representatives of a connected world. It was propaganda, but also a vision, a world held together by order. Yet even the greatest systems carry tension. Because where there is structure, there is also resistance. And eventually, Persia would face one of its greatest challenges from a small cluster of independent city-states far to the west: Greece. This is where history becomes legendary. The Persian Wars were not just battles, they were clashes of two very different worlds. On one side, the vast, organized Persian Empire. On the other, independent Greek city-states like Athens and Sparta, fiercely protective of their autonomy. When Darius the Firm launched an invasion, it ended in a surprising defeat at the Battle of Marathon. But Persia was not finished, because the next ruler would return with something far greater. Xerxes inherited an empire of immense power and decided to finish what his father started. He assembled one of the largest invasion forces the ancient world had ever seen. His army crossed bridges built over the Hellespont, connecting Asia to Europe. Ancient writers described the scale as overwhelming. And yet, Greece would not fall easily. At Thermopylae, a narrow mountain pass, King Leonidas of Sparta and his warriors made a legendary last stand. They were vastly outnumbered. But they held the pass long enough to slow the Persian advance. It was not a victory in the traditional sense, but it became a symbol of resistance. Later, at the Battle of Salamis, the Greek navy used smaller, faster ships to outmaneuver the Persian fleet, turning the tide of the war. And just like that, the Persian expansion into Greece was stopped. But here is something important. The Persian Empire did not collapse from this defeat. It continued to thrive for centuries afterward, because Persia was not built on a single war. It was built on systems, roads, administration, communication, governance. Even after military setbacks, the empire remained one of the most stable and influential in the ancient world. Life inside the empire was incredibly diverse. Persia included many languages, religions, and cultures. Aramaic became a common administrative language to help different regions communicate. Trade flourished across the empire. Silk, spices, textiles, metals, and ideas moved freely along Persian roads and trade routes. Cities became hubs of cultural exchange. In many ways, the Persian Empire functioned like an ancient global network. But like all empires, it faced internal pressures over time. Large territories are difficult to maintain forever. Local governors gained influence. Regions became harder to control from the center. And eventually, new forces emerged beyond Persia's borders, including the rise of Macedonia under Alexander the Great. When Alexander invaded Persia centuries later, he did not just fight battles, he absorbed the empire. Persia's systems, knowledge, and administrative structures influenced the world that came after it, even under new rulers. But the true legacy of Persia is not just in conquest or collapse, it is in how it redefined what an empire could be. Cyrus showed that power could include tolerance. Darius showed that order could scale across continents. Xerxes showed the limits of expansion, and together they shaped one of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world. So when we look at modern systems today, roads, communication networks, governance structures, even ideas about cultural diversity, we are still seeing echoes of Persia, still seeing the shadow of the royal road, still hearing the memory of messengers who never stopped riding, still feeling the impact of an empire that tried, for the first time, to connect the ancient world into one system. And maybe the most important lesson from the Persian Empire is this: empires are not only built by conquest, they are built by connection. And connection is what outlives them.